Hi there, and thanks for joining me. Today we are going to practice solving two-step equations. Okay, here we go. All right, our first problem is 8n plus 7 equals 31. So our goal is the same goal that we had when we were solving one-step equations. We want to get this variable by itself, and we want to figure out what it is. So we have to get rid of this 7, and we have to get rid of this 8. So the question is, what do we get rid of first? How do we do this? Where do we start? So I'm going to show you the math response to that question. So the math response says, if we have our order of operations, which we would have parentheses, exponents, multiply or divide, and then add and subtract. So according to this rule, we would start down here and we would do the inverse of it. So we would start down here with adding and subtracting, then do multiplying and dividing, then do exponents and do parentheses last. But I'm gonna tell you my little trick when I solve equations. So I normally get rid of the number that's furthest away from the variable. So in this example, 7 is further away from 8 to n. So I'm going to get rid of that 7 first. I'm going to follow the same steps that I did in one-step equations, and I'm going to draw a line where my equal sign is, just to remind myself that whatever I do to one side, I'm going to do to the other side too. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this 7 first by subtracting 7. These will cancel, and I will have 8n equals 31 minus 7 is 24. Now I'm going to get rid of this 8. Don't forget, when a number and a variable are right by each other, that means multiply. So we are going to divide to get rid of it. Divide by 8, divide by 8, and we are going to have n equals 3. I'm going to take that 3 and plug it in to double check my work right here. 8 times 3. 8 times 3 is 24. Plus the 7 would give me 31. So I know I got it right. Let's practice another one. Here we have negative 15 equals negative 4m plus 5. I'm going to draw my line in, and I want to get this m by itself. So I need to get rid of the 4, the negative 4, and the 5. And I'm going to get rid of this 5 first, not only because it's in the reverse order of the order of operations, but also because it's further away from our variable. So I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. This will cancel, and I'll be left with negative 4m. Now this side, I kind of have to use a little bit of common sense, but negative 15 minus 5 more is like you're in debt 15 and you go spend 5 more. Well, your debt is going to go up. So we are going to be left with negative 20. All right, I have one step left. This negative 4 is right beside my variable and it's being multiplied, so I am going to divide. Divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4. These will cancel. I'll be left with m. Negative divided by a negative is a positive, and 20 divided by 4 is 5. So I get m equals 5. Now, if I were to check my work, I'd plug it in here. Negative 4 times 5 is negative 20, and negative 20 plus a positive 5 would still leave me in debt negative 15. Let's keep going. Here we have m divided by 9 minus 1 equals negative 2. So I'm going to draw my line, and the order of operations, we are doing it in reverse order. So I'm going to do my adding and subtracting first. But to me, this looks like this number is a little further away from my variable than the 9. So I'm going to add 1 to both sides. These will cancel. I will have m divided by 9, and then negative $2 in debt plus $1. I'm only going to be $1 in debt. Okay, I need to get rid of divided by 9, so I'm going to multiply by 9. multiply by 9, cancel, and I will have m equals -1 times 9 is -9. Okay, here I'm going to check myself. If I plug in a -9 for my m, I would have -9 divided by +9, which is -1. And then if I were to minus 1 from that, I would have -2. Okay, we're going to keep going. We're just going to do a couple more. Here we have n plus 5 all divided by -16 equals -1. So this problem is actually quite different than the problem I did before this. The first thing I'm going to do is multiply by -16. And the reason I'm not following this, normally you would add or subtract before multiplying or dividing. The reason I'm doing this first is because these guys are technically together in parentheses because I am dividing both of those by the -16. Okay, so it kind of looks like these two are closer together, but this one's just a little bit trickier of a problem. So I'm going to multiply by -16 to get rid of this. Multiply by -16. These will cancel, and I'll be left with n plus 5. And since I am just left with n plus 5, I'm going to take the parentheses off, okay? And then -1 times -16 is going to give me +16. Now I just need to get rid of this 5 by subtracting 5, and I have n equals 11. Now I am going to double check my answer just in case. If I plug in 11 for n, I would have 11 plus 5, which is 16. 16 divided by -16 would give me -1. So I know I got this right. Let's keep going. This problem is 7 times 9 plus k equals 84. Now you can solve this one a couple different ways. I'm going to show you both. So the first thing that I usually do is distribute this 7 to both of the terms in there. Now we do that because we cannot combine the 9 plus the k. Those are two different things that we're talking about. So we do not want to add those together. 7 times 9, remember when they're right by each other, that implies multiply, is 63. And then 7 times k would give me 7k. All right. Now, this variable is right beside this 7, so I'm going to get rid of my 63 by subtracting, cancel, and I'm going to have 7k equals 21. I am almost done. I just need to divide by 7, and I would get k equals 3. 21 divided by 7 is 3. All right, so that is one way how to solve it. That is the distributive property, when we distribute a number to the terms inside the parentheses. I'm going to show you one more way, and you might think this way is easier. One sec. Okay. Since 7 is being multiplied by both of these things, I'm just going to go ahead and divide by 7 right now. Divide by 7, divide by 7. These would cancel, and I would have 9 plus k equals 84 divided by 7 is 12. Now, the reason I can get away with doing that division or getting rid of the multiplication before the adding and subtracting is because there are parentheses around my 9 plus k. They are together, and parentheses would technically come last if we did this opposite order, okay? So now I'm just going to subtract 9, and I will have k equals 3. And that's the same answer that we got last time, so we know it's right. Okay, we are going to solve one more, and I'm going to include your favorite things. That's right, fractions. We have -m minus 7/8 equals -10. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing that we've been doing. You can draw this line in if you'd like, and I want to get rid of this minus 7/8 by adding 7/8. adding 7/8, adding 7/8. These will get rid of each other, cancel out. I'll be left with negative m. I cannot forget that negative sign. Now, here we have negative 10. So for a minute, imagine you are $10 in debt, okay? We are gonna add 7/8 to that. 7/8 is almost 8/8, which would be $1. So if you're $10 in debt and I give you $1, you're still in debt, but only $9. So whatever my answer is, it should be really, really close to -9. Okay, so I'm gonna think -10 and then 7/8. So I'm actually gonna do 10 minus 7/8. And I can kind of do this in my head. 10 minus 1 whole would be 9. So this is gonna be 9 1/8. And it's gonna be negative. And if that's difficult, you might wanna watch the video on adding and subtracting fractions, okay? So now I'm almost done. Negative m is equal to -9 1/8. And I am just gonna divide by -1 because this is being multiplied by -1. Whenever there's a -1, we don't always write the 1. Sometimes we just write the negative sign, and you just have to know that there's a invisible 1 out there. Okay, so I'm gonna divide both by a -1. Cancel, and then I will have m equals, and -9 1/8 divided by 1 is gonna give me +9 1/8. And there you have it. I know you can do this. Solving equations gets actually kind of fun when you get used to it and you know you're on a roll. But if you have any other problems you need help with, comment them down below and I'd be happy to make another video for you. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe.